The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green. Can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so.
Guest who will be chatting with today is one of Nigeria's finest life and business strategists. He's the author of the books From College Dropout to Corporate Sellout and From Friend to Fiancé. In 2011, the United Nations were so moved by his impact on the lives of Nigerian youth that they made him a youth ambassador. He helped so many companies turn around and he's influenced several lives. Just to prove his impact, his podcast has been downloaded over 200,000 times on iTunes. The Junior Chambers International even mentioned him as one of his outstanding young persons. Someone that knows his work as he refers to himself as Mr. Executioner, I'm totally agree with him. I mean, numbers don't lie. I've given up enough to it, but in case you still don't know what we're talking about, he's our very own Steve Harris. So, hello, Mr. Steve. Thank you for having us. So, tell me, what does value mean to you?
Well, first off, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. For me, I think value is really the vacuum that's created when you're not there.
So, how has it contributed to success?
Well, first of all, I always like to think that I'm succeeding. I'm not sure I'm successful, because I'm still on the journey. But for me, I think I'm always trying to see how I can add value, how I can create a vacuum that is so huge that no one else can fill. So for me, to inspire people that come in contact with me and hopefully say something or do something that they hold on to and say, I was there when this room said this and they told me this. So for me, I don't want to be a flash in the pan. I want to be inspired. I'm hoping that life helps people to become that. So for me, value is inspiring people and helping them to execute my goals. We all need it. I know it sounds cliche, but
Yeah, cliche still works it.
it still works. I mean, that's what it is.
Did you share some experiences when you had to stand your ground in terms of taking value of your being like every other person? Because most times, the person who's doing the regular things that way out. It takes courage to create value, it takes determination and like self-awareness to create value. So could you share some experiences that has had those defining moments?
Well, I think for me the biggest thing that comes to mind is, this is many years ago. I was working with Philip, it was very mentor. I got a call from one of our clients who said, let's save some money. Let's give you 2.5. Your organization doesn't need to be wiser. And to be very honest, I thought about it. I was like, man, this would be huge. 2.5 million in 2 days of work. I think my salary was less than 200K, so I calculated like, whoa, I'm rich, So I was thinking about it. But then I did remember that the only reason they called me was because somebody took a chance on me. So I called them and I said, well, thanks for the offer. Respectfully, I'm the client. Don't worry. Give the job to the organization. I'll still come with it. They're like, no, man, what do you mean? You will make 2.5 million. I said, no, I wouldn't. I said, I'm going to lose 2.5 million. And they were like, what do you mean? I said, well, you were just about to pay my company 5 million. And you're about to pay me 2.5. They're like, yeah, you will make 2.5. I said, no, I'm going to lose 2.5 because this is my company. It's my business. I own it. It may not be, the checks are not written to me. I'm still a staff, but this is my company. So I'm not going to gain 2.5. I'm going to lose 2.5 million. And it was pretty hard to do, you know what I mean? And they're like, come on, man, we know you're the one. But no, we'll still send you to do the work. We'll still see. I'm like, yeah, don't worry. So the reason you believe in my value is because someone took a chance on me. Someone believed in me. Someone has trained me and molded me and shaped me into this person that we think is valuable. But if that person didn't do that to me, I wouldn't be here. And it would be a huge betrayal of trust to nag and just forget everything I've learned. And I turned them down. Now, it did happen once, it did happen twice, it happened 3 times. And each time I did it, it wasn't like my pay got better. I didn't get a salary increase or any of those things. I still went back to work, realizing that, dear God, at the end of the day, I'm still going to earn 200 grand. I just lost 2.5 million there. But when you realize that the organization you're working for is not their company, it's my business. It's not all us versus them. It's not the management. It's our business. If the company folds up, you lose a job. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I do remember happening the most. I've stuck with my values.
That's really beautiful. Like, thank you so much for sharing. Could you leave us with something that encourage other entrepreneurs, maybe those that are still working in the to actually see the importance of creating value and sticking to your plan?
And that's a great question, because I think that I tell people that you can't be a successful entrepreneur if you're a crappy employee. You know what I mean? The Bible says that if you're not faithful in another man's work, who will give you your own? So, if you suck at being an employee, you will suck at being an entrepreneur. The reward for being an employee is not the money, it's who you become through the process. So all the times, for example, I was working in Philadelphia, I didn't realize that I was learning the seeds from my business. So it wasn't a job to me. I was doing it because this is my business. Now, I didn't have a big idea or a big picture of having my own firm before. It never crossed my mind. But I realized that I wanted to do the very best that I could do. Too many employees are great at their job, but they suck at the business. So what do I mean? Somebody is great at customer service. They put you in customer service, you do that well. But you don't recognize that the organization hired you to study the business. Right? So you don't know how the organization gets clients, you don't know how they advertise, you don't know how they pay taxes, you don't know how they hire, you don't know how they fire, you don't know how they bid. All you are concerned about is being the best on your job. And being the best on your job is not great enough for business. That's just understanding a facet, a dimension, maybe 1 out of 7 possible dimensions that makes a business run. Customer service is just one dimension. Sales is probably just one dimension. So too many employees are one-dimensional. They're focused on doing the job. It's not my job, it's not my job. They'll do it. But if it's their job, they'll focus. But they don't recognize that you should learn the business. Which is why, for example, if a mechanic is training, if he's being apprenticed, and his boss tells him, "Where come and change this tire," he puts his eye down, not because he has no choice. He recognizes that I need to learn this because one day this will be my business. So if I take my eyes off the ball, when my boss tells me to do it again, I will be able to do it. So too many employees are going to work, going through the motions, they say, let me just get my pay and get it out there. You cannot become a successful entrepreneur if you're a crappy employee. You will not be able to manage it 24/7 if you can't handle it 9 to 5. I always joke like I'm an entrepreneur. My business opens when my eyes open. I stop thinking about it when my eyes closed. And even when I'm sleeping, I'm still thinking about it. I'm still dreaming about it. You know what I mean? But so many people just have that work ethic to say, "What's up? It's 5 o'clock. Yeah, that's great. Pack your bags and go." But you don't recognize that when you're not there, you don't pack your bags. When the staff have gone, you're still there. You're going to be the first to arrive, the last to leave. So all that stuff. So I'll end by saying, the reward for being an employee is not how much you make, it's who you become. And you choose who you become. So you're going to choose whether or not you'll be another employee entrepreneur, or you will really be someone who puts their eyes down and understands the entire value chain. How do we advertise? How do we get businesses? How do we close our deals? How do we negotiate? How do we write proposals? It's not your job, but if you are a CEO in training, which is what you should be as an employee, you recognize that your job is to know one thing about everything, but you should also know everything about one thing. But too many employees know everything about one thing, they know nothing about everything. So that's what I mean.
Thank you so much. You're so generous.
I am.
You heard it from the man himself. He said something that really resonated with me. And I say it every time. When you're going through an experience, it's not about what you get out of it. It's about who you're becoming from whatever it is you're doing. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working for somebody, it's always about who you become. Because life is about growth, life is about progress, life is about adding and creating. So if you don't become something more, then you have to recalculate your steps. He mentioned that if you're a crappy employee, you'll be a crappy entrepreneur, because it's the same spirit you have as an employee. They're going to move to your entrepreneurship, because most employees, they are always about value extraction. They want to know how much they can get out of the situation. But when you go in with the intention to create value, it opens up a new other one. I really don't have to talk too much. I said everything.
The land is green, it's green, oh.